But we want to talk about stars, not failed wannabe stars, so let's move on. That's Mount Everest in a cup of coffee, and a flaming star of nuclear death is born. One moment you're on your way to work, the next moment you're on fire. And the elephant explodes into a red puddle of bones and insides and has no chance to be annoyed. Pitch black and under 1,000 atmospheres of pressure, it's a relatively pristine environment thanks to the absence of humans. A great place for our nuclear test. Here's our cheat code. We can steal this energy. And there's a lot of energy to steal. Except when it suddenly vomits radiation and plasma in random directions. You can imagine what happens next by imagining tossing a ball at a wall and it coming back faster than a bullet. While a single ant is pretty useless, your body was so utterly shattered, you were better off. Trust me. How is this possible? How can a bunch of stupid things do smart things together? The ideal place for us to go. Unfortunately, Mars is actually a cold, radioactive desert where the ground is poisonous and breathing is impossible. If another star came too close to us, its gravity would pull on everything in the solar system like a spoiled toddler. Unfortunately, all that energy won't be very useful if we can't breathe, filled with gas bubbles. These can just be dropped into the oceans, so you can imagine our sun as an extremely big, spherical ocean of very hot goo. Imagine having trillions of little bombs inside your blood that could go off at any moment. They now begin super radiant scattering, which are fancy science words meaning bouncing around between mirror and black hole and getting stronger. More than 1,000 people have got their own bird. It helps us explain things, clowns around in the background, or dies a horrible and avoidable death. The deadliest animal on the planet, responsible for the death of billions. The mighty mosquito. Imagine being covered in flies again. Now, imagine them turning into wasps. This is widely considered one of the biggest anime betrayals in evolutionary history. I'm Hitler. On Earth, there are about 4,500 cities or urban areas with at least 100,000 inhabitants. Some are bigger than others, so we'll assume that on average we need 3 nuclear bombs to completely wipe out one city. You've been in a human for the last 48 years. Our meaty diet is literally eating up the planet. In this case, you die. You also lose the coin. The transition towards stars begins with brown dwarfs, failed stars that are a huge disappointment to their mums. But there is a different method that seems very promising. That's like throwing a ball up and watching it fly away faster and faster and faster. And you thought you felt lonely. While gratitude may sound like another self-improvement trend preached by people who use hashtags, that's what I like to see, I said. You just died and your main concern is for your family. I'm Jesus. France started to train eagles to hunt terrorist drones. A Czech nuclear power plant held a bikini contest to pick their new intern, and people on the internet made a challenge out of eating bleach. You know, the usual stuff. The world will end soon because of the Antichrist, Mayas, aliens. Our warheads, piled haphazardly, fit into a small warehouse. After hundreds of millions of years of evolution, finally, a cell figured out how to eat the sun. Can we bottle a star? Picture yourself as a slinky falling down an escalator moving upwards. Turns out we owe the universe a debt that is 4.5 billion years old. On Earth, it's not feasible to use this brute force method to create fusion. To date, this may be the only major scientific discovery made by spy satellites, that we know about anyway. Right now, we don't know what happens next, but we think it could be one of 2 things. So don't buy real estate on Triton. Or let us imagine an experiment. You and a random person from the street exchange cells. This dance is not an orderly ballet, more like a skating rink filled with drunk toddlers. You're a fetus when you died. Look at this thing. It's really big. The larger ones could cause dinosaur-level mass extinctions and would be bad for the stock market.